Hey everybody, Katie Kimball here from Kitchen Stewardship with my Instant Pot and my daughter Leah. I had a recipe in mind today, a barbecue chicken recipe. It's a favorite around here. We make it all the time. We use the leftovers in lunches. It's at least like a once or twice monthly kind of meal. I wasn't sure if the video would end up being slow cooker barbecue chicken or Instant Pot barbecue chicken. But since it's 5:20, it's the Instant Pot for the win. Not unexpected in my crazy busy house, and life just gets away from me. And so actually, the brothers are due home in 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. So we have to finish before the door opens and they tumble through and cause a lot of noise, right? You think we can do it?
I don't know.
Oh, you have little faith. So my whole point in this video is to show how fast it can be done. Now obviously I did get to collect my ingredients and we opened a can like before we got on video. But we're going to do everything else pretty much real time. I wasn't planning on having Leah help, but she wanted to help. So I'm like, you can like measure some stuff while I'm measuring some other stuff. So I'll do my like quick strategies and Leah can do some of her good measuring stuff. So the one difference in the slow cooker versus Instant Pot recipe is I put a little more water in the Instant Pot because you've got to make sure that you can get the steam to get up to pressure. So Leah's going to start by pouring that half cup of water in. And then I've got, this is a big recipe. It's going to be 4 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I generally just grab those from Costco, organic. And I'm just literally going to dump them in. And I mean, the nice thing is that Costco pretty much does 4 pounds in their big, huge container. So Leah's just going to be measuring for me the salt. Add at least a teaspoon. Sometimes we end up adding salt at the table with this much meat, the 4 pound version. But it's just, so we put at least a teaspoon in. You may choose, you may decide that you want 1.5 to 2 teaspoons. And if it tastes bland at all, just add salt at the end. And then make a note in your recipe to add a little bit more next time from the get-go. She's going to be measuring a 1/4 teaspoon of regular old black pepper if she doesn't slide away in her little chair there. And then she's going to be measuring 2 teaspoons of chili powder. That kind of sounds like a lot of chili powder for a kid-friendly meal, but it's not. I mean, this is not, it's not spicy at all, is it, Leah? Like, it's not even close. I think maybe there's just so much meat. So I'm not doing anything. I'm just making sure that they're all laying in there. Nice, and they're all settled in there. And then I'm not going to stir anything. I'm not going to hardly even measure anything. So watch. Here I go. Calls for 1/4 to 1/2 cup of dried minced onion because I'm in a hurry, right? I don't want to cut the onion, so I'm just measuring into the lid. I'm eyeing it up. I'm doing about 1/2 cup. You really can choose kind of how much flavor you get. Calls for 1 to 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. Same thing. I'm just kind of dumping it into the lid. Eyeing it up, sprinkle it over. I'm going a little higher because I like flavor, but if you've got kids with sensitive palates, you're going to want to go a little bit less. Leah, here, grab this. A little shake. It's cayenne. It's hot pepper. Just put a little shake in here. 2 shakes? 2 shakes. Good girl. And then I'm going to add all your spices, please, miss. The salt, the pepper, the chili powder. I'm I'm trying to sprinkle over so that it's a little evenly distributed because I'm not going to stir. Let's get that. Mustard. 2 tablespoons of mustard. Same thing, we're just going to eye it up. Oh, nice. So that was probably half. Another one. Yeah, and then squirt over there a little bit more. We love mustard, so we're not afraid. We're not afraid to go big or go home on the yellow mustard. It calls for 2 tablespoons. And then we got a little bit of sweetener in here. This is sorghum syrup. I always default to my sorghum syrup when I'm doing slow cooker recipes that call for any kind of sweetener, just because it's so thick. I feel like I forget to use it in anything else. Look at it, it's so thick. It won't even come off the knife. So I'm just eyeing this up. It calls for about 3 tablespoons. Honestly, if you're doing like a Whole30 or something, skip it. You're not going to miss it. You're not going to miss it. So we're just making a big, huge, sticky mess here, aren't we? You can use maple syrup in this as well. You could throw in a little bit of brown sugar if you don't have any natural sweeteners on hand. Of course, I'd recommend the more natural and more close to the earth, the better, or skip it entirely. That's gonna go right in the dishwasher, so I'm not afraid to hit the raw meat in there. It's a little bit of a sweet and sour, like a Carolina barbecue. So I get my apple cider vinegar. It calls for 2 tablespoons, and I'm not gonna use a measuring spoon on that either. She's so good. She's cleaning up. I know that my lid is about a teaspoon, and there are 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. So I'm just dumping 6 lids worth of apple cider vinegar in. That allows me to kind of mess around. Now you could totally, actually I'm doing another one. It smells really good. You could totally measure that, obviously. That was kind of a lot. And then, you know, I'm going to put a half cup of water in. You're supposed to have a cup for any Instant Pot recipes, but here comes a little more liquid. And there was liquid in the chicken too, there just by default there was. So I need about a cup of tomato sauce, which is half of a 15-ounce can. This was my last can of tomato sauce in the house because, you know, I'm super organized like that. If I was out, if I used this last week, I would totally throw in a can of tomato paste, a whole 6-ounce can, and add another half cup of water. It would taste almost exactly the same, possibly a little bit more rich. I'm going to close this up. First I'm going to check my seal, make sure that that's in there, that nothing's blocking it. I'm going to check the whatever this thing is called that, that preserves the valve, make sure nothing's blocking that. Backward from what I'm used to here, hang on. I got to think backwardly. I can't do it. There it is, got it. Usually it's facing me. And then lock that in. You double check on the top that your valve is turned to sealing. And then typically if I'm doing, like this used to be a slow cooker recipe, typically if I'm doing a slow cooker recipe, I'm just going to use whatever meat button fits the meat. So I would just hit poultry. But this is a lot. It's a lot of poultry and it's not a lot of liquid. And I would rather be safe than sorry. Poultry is only 15 minutes, which is really pretty light. So I'm going to up that to 25. I want this to be falling apart tender. I'm just going to take, and I'll show you, I'm just going to take some forks or tongs or whatever and just shred that right in the cooker and add some arrowroot starch to thicken it up. So that's it though. Here it goes. It's going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to get to pressure, and we'll see a little steam come out, we'll see the pin pop up, and then the countdown will begin for the 25 minutes. And we'll show you how it goes. Did we make it? The brothers aren't home. We did good. That was like 6 minutes. Good job. Thanks for your help, girly girl. Alright, the Instant Pot actually got up to pressure pretty quickly. It was maybe under 15 minutes, I believe. And the boys were 5 minutes late coming home, so we actually had more time than we thought before they tumbled in with all their noise. I'm going to show you opening the Instant Pot, letting all the steam out. It's kind of loud. So even though it's been 5 minutes since the 25-minute timer went off, there's still quite a bit of pressure built up in there, and I can just let that out. This recipe really should be done with a quick pressure release, which is what this is called. So right when the countdown timer beeps, you should be able to open it up and everything should be done. Also, you know, if you have a little extra time, just let it ride. Just kind of let it do a natural pressure release, which is just basically means ignoring it for 10 to 15 minutes. And then when you open that valve, nothing will come out. So right now we're going to open it and make sure that our chicken is finished. Let all the steam vent away from me. It's hot piping in there. So this is just my favorite tool for shredding meat. It's a Pampered Chef tool, but you can use 2 forks. Like, you do not need anything fancy. So this is just, I'm pressing it down and it's literally falling apart. I'll have to get a close-up in a minute. So again, I didn't stir anything up at the beginning. And so this is basically when I stir. And then I'm going to add almost a 1/4 cup of arrowroot starch to thicken it up, but I'll do that after I do all of the shredding, so that the meat's all shredded in the liquids there. But it worked. We're gonna have dinner on time. Go Instant Pot. Thanks for coming back to help, Leah. So Leah's gonna add the arrowroot powder, 1 tablespoon at a time. We're going for between 2 and 4 tablespoons, and just really sprinkle it all over the top. Are we cheating here a little bit? Yeah, you know, when you add starch to something, you're really supposed to mix it with cold water first, but I found that with arrowroot, it's much different than flour or cornstarch. I just don't find that it clumps very much, at least in like a slow cooker or Instant Pot meal. I find that it works okay, so go ahead and put that one in, Leah. What we're going to do to try to make sure that this really thickens up, and actually just in the act of shredding the chicken, it's already acting a lot thicker. I could totally put it over rice and do like a rice bowl right now. If I'm in a hurry, I'm done. I'm good to go. I wouldn't even add the arrowroot. Yeah, do 1 more, and then I think we'll stop. If you're not in a hurry, just let it sit in there, close the lid back up, let it stay on low, keep warm, which is what it's on right now for a while. And by the way, don't you love how this lid just like sticks in the side? So I'm just stirring that in, and what I'm going to do to really thicken this up is press cancel and saute to kick up the heat a little bit. I don't want to do that for too long. I don't want to like boil it like crazy, but I do want to kick up the heat just a little bit and just kind of let some of the moisture evaporate, and that'll thicken it up too. So, but again, we could eat it now. We're going to eat this tonight over rice with some parsnip fries and some peas. Often we have it with potato wedges or even baked potatoes. It's great as a sandwich too. For a sandwich, of course, you really got to thicken it up a little more and let it boil down. But the leftovers, of course, are really thick. So we'll just send those cold in lunches. But it's, it's great on a bun. We tend to eat gluten-free, so we just do it over rice or with just a pile of meat next to potatoes or whatever if we're doing a Whole30. Anyway, shall we get the boys and eat?
Sure.
All right. Bye, everybody. You guys, this is not attractive in this lighting, but it is what it is. We might have eaten before I showed you, but it certainly thickened up just fine. It would go fine on a sloppy sandwich, and you could kind of like let some of the sauce dribble off too. But yeah, delicious, awesome dinner. The kids were singing our praises, and there you have it. Barbecue chicken, super quick. It was done in less than an hour from start, like walking into the kitchen to eating, falling apart. Love it. Thank you, Instant Pot.